Hey everyone, welcome to the BFREAL podcast.
So it's your girl Mila.
And it's your girl Lose Baby.
And it's your girl Ep.3.
And we have a special guest. I don't know if y'all can tell, but I would love to introduce this person. She is really influential in the Polynesian community. She's Tongan and she is really popping in the music industry right now. She also has paved the way for us upcoming Polynesian artists.
Yes.
She's achieved so much things, and I'm grateful to call her my big sister. Let's welcome Dinah Jane.
Woo! Okay. Go sis! Go sis! Hey!
I'm shy. Oh, she sat down. Okay. I want to talk. Yes.
Thank you guys for having me. Great job on your first take. Great success. I loved what you guys had discussed, and I know like there's so much more to talk about on the table. So thank you for having me. You guys inspire me. Each and every one of you inspire me on this table. Like, thank you for being so empowering and speaking for women who can find relatability in this type of space. And it feels like a safe space. So that's beautiful too.
Yes. Before we tap into just kind of our conversations, I do want you to also give us like a little introduction for those of y'all know who this is, but just for us, and because we want you guys to hear from her too, give us a little intro and what you're about.
Okay.
If you would, please.
Me talk about myself? That's unheard of. I am a singer-songwriter. I am based from Orange County, California. Born and raised in Santa Ana. Tongan. Yes, this is my sister. She's right after me. I'm one of 9. I grew up in a musical home. My mom is a singer. I think she still can out-sing all her children to this day.
Okay.
My mom sings. Her brother plays the piano. And we've music has always been around me ever since I could remember. And so growing up also in the church, I always sang as well. So it started from there, and then I was aspiring to be a singer when I saw that Deki, I don't know if you guys know Deki, the artist.
Of course.
Tease. Shout out to Deki. He
Deki.
threw a competition when I was 11 years old of who would feature on the song. I bring it up because I forget. The journey's been so long.
I remember the challenge too.
Yeah, it started from YouTube. That's how I kind of started, and then it was just messing around with my cousins type of thing. I'm trying to condense this, and then music. From that time, my parents really sacrificed a lot to get me to where I am. So my dad was working 2 jobs. My mom was also working, but then being a mother of 6 at the time was unheard of. So she quit her job and invested a lot of time into me, being her oldest as well. She was willing to put the sacrifice behind it. Speaking of that as well, I come from a huge family, and I lived in a home of about 25 people.
We're Tongan.
We're Tongan, of course, is normal. So growing up with this village, I think their place was to always protect me. And so pursuing music was something they weren't cheering on for. They're just go to school, go to church and just sing there. But my mom and my dad were heavily right behind me. They carried me through, and I give them all the praise and credit for getting me to where I am. And if you really believe in your children, or if you see that they believe in these type of dreams, all they want is for you to just back them up and be their backbone. So
I wanted to talk about that situation growing up, and the reason why I said she's one of the most biggest influential women right now, and bitch, why am I crying? I can't stand her, but I'm being serious.
I love this. You never cry to me. I love it too. Stop! I'm gonna cry. I'm a cry baby.
Okay, but my sister talking about how she started.
I hear you.
Sorry. My sister talking about how she started all of this. In the beginning, there was no Polynesian woman that she could look up to or was up there at the time. And a lot of people hated her, and she still gets hate to this day. But in the beginning, it was really just me and my parents and us kids pushing her throughout everything. And just seeing her where she's at today is just the amount of love that she's getting. For other Polynesians that are looking up to be like her one day, everyone's gonna hate you at first, and no one's gonna support you. But once you and you're gonna see the people who are real and fake.
Yeah.
But once you like start making a name for yourself, always remember the people who
Started at the
were
bottom
there
with
from the
you.
bottom.
Amen.
Okay.
Amen.
But yeah, I was like,
Girl.
it makes me emotional. But yeah, it's
Oh,
Women's
I love
History
you.
Month. I just wanted to acknowledge her because as much as me and her argue, like I am her little sister and we fight a lot. Like she knows that I'll be holding it down. Okay.
She do hold it down. It's crazy.
Yeah, we have a couple stories for that in here, but yes.
Nail loss stories. Oh, I love you, sister. Thank you for saying that. I was just taking this in because usually you're not that emotional with me, so it's good to see a different side.
It was just giving
Um,
flashbacks.
I know, just like when you're talking about my background, it just gets like emotional for me, like bringing it up, just because it's been it's heavy, and I don't really talk about it much either, because like going back to those feelings and reflecting back on the journey gets me sad. Part of it gets me sad, and then it gets me. There's a twist to it. There's a plot twist where it's like, okay, look, and she pursued, she made it, type of thing. But what's the word? Not starts with a P.
Perseverance.
She persevered.
There you go.
Yes, there's the word. She persevered.
We haven't been in school in a while.
So that happened. I went to a high school called OSHA down in Orange County. My family also knew that I was really down for music, so I went there, and then I did some auditions. I didn't really get far. I did like American Idol, America's Got Talent. I got the no. I did X Factor the first season, got the no. But the second time I went for X Factor, I got the yes. But the thing was, second time I went for X Factor, I almost didn't go, because I was like, I already felt let down. Like there's so many no's that I had come across, and I was like, it's not it. It's not time. But thankfully, God said, you know what?
Right.
You gonna lean on 4 other women, and He put me in a girl group named Fifth Harmony, and I'm just so grateful for the success and all the look that we had too as well. Not only the talent, but like we're a very exotic girl group. I know it was all exotic. There's Latin girls, Black girl. I was the only Polynesian girl, and consuming that type of energy was just so empowering and lifting for me. I learned so much from them. As much as the world tried to pit us against each other, I saw beauty in it, because I come from a huge family of like women and like so many siblings. So I kind of learned how to like get through, like learn each girl's personality, learn how to like, oh, there's certain limits you go with each girl, or like how do I speak their language? I want to learn them, because I don't want any conflict or anything. Because aside from the music was fun. It was the more so the behind the scenes that no one really knew. And so being a woman now at this big age, being 26, I'm like, okay, now I know how to, like, I'm such a girl's girl, even harder. I root for every girl, like any type of girl. And I always want to know their story right before I judge them, right before there's any type of judgment. Yes. I've seen some girls out there that have gone through a lot of I don't want to cuss. A lot of...
Oh, I already cussed. It's
okay, a lot of BS.
Hardships.
Okay, hardships. They've come a lot of hardships, and the world makes a judgment out of them easily off of social media, what they're saying. And so I used to be that girl only because from the past, but I've relearned, and being someone who gone through a lot herself in my personal life, I completely stopped music. I ran away for like 3 years. I was like, fuck music, I don't like this, it's boring, I lost the passion, I didn't want it no more. I just wanted to feel real life. Yes. I wanted to fall, I wanted to crumble, I wanted to cry. I faced all those things, and I feel so much stronger. I feel like I gained a testimony, like a spiritual one, and like, amen.
Let's be for real.
Spiritual one.
I love it.
I feel like people, so she was like at her all-time high like a couple years ago, and then how she's mentioning her break from
hiatus.
Music. Yeah, and people, I think there would be like little comments like, oh, you're not up there no more, blah blah blah. I want you to share with everyone, like, how did you feel taking that time alone by yourself, especially away from music, because it is like a therapy in a
To
way.
find yourself again.
Yes.
I mean, I felt things that I've never felt before. I'm coming from parents who were very, they sheltered me in a sense. Like, they let me have my fun here and there, but they were very, they were really good to me. I'm not saying that my parents were bad people, but they protected me so hard that every time, like you guys spoke another time where you guys said you guys got no's a lot from them and they were like compressing you from like learning the world. I wanted to feel that. And so because I finally got to, you know, just running away from my parents, being talangata'a, I was like, you protect me so much. Can I please just go have a good time and go feel things? Like the industry is so plastered in a way where it's like you have to be perfect, be on all the time. I didn't want to be perfect anymore. And I was like, if it takes me running away from it completely, then I'm going to do that. And just the music I was creating and the space I was in, I just feel like it was overthought. And so with the music, that's what kind of pushed me away too. It's like there was just things back to back to back. And I was like, this isn't it. Like, I need a break. Because if you're not going to feel or see my vision, then there's no purpose in this anymore. Exactly. So especially being Polynesian, like they didn't understand like what I was trying to go for. I'm really Tongan. Like I like live and breathe this back at home. Like they don't know that I go back home. Like after all the fancy stuff, traveling the world, I go back home to my 20, 30 people.
Right, to Tongan household.
Because I'm Tongan as hell. And,
of course we're Tongan.
and I try to be very proud of it because people in the industry were like, why don't you move? Like, why are you with them? Why are you taking care of them? Like, why do you need to like still feed them and all these type of things? And I was like, because family's first. And anytime I talk about my family, it's emotional because it's like, that's what I've always prioritized first. It was like, they are my why, they are my reason. This is who I do it for. But this round, you know, coming back into the industry again after 3 years, it's helped me to like put that to the side and say, now this is for me. Like I invested so much time and money into others that it's not selfish of me to invest back into myself. Yes. So.
And just to write off of what Dinah said, so I just met Dinah because we played pickleball together, and she had introduced me to her sister, and we had our very first conversation. And what really like, I knew you were really that girl, and you were just such a genuine and beautiful person. When she stated, you know, she's a big deal in the music industry. But when you stated that you try to incorporate your roots into whatever you're doing, I was like, I love that. Because we're such a small percentage. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that you really, anywhere you go, you're always throwing the tea. You know, like that. I love that. Because Tongan women, you know, if we were to throw it out right now, they'd be like, what's Tongan women?
Right.
You know?
Exactly.
So I love that you represent that so well.
Thank you. I want to give that so much to Aradna. Like, I feel like being a younger girl, I looked up to Beyonce, I looked to Mariah Carey, I looked to all these amazing vocalists. But I remember being like 10 years old on the swings at the park with all my cousins. Like all the old heads are like playing tennis and whatnot, but we're jamming to Aradna's first album. And I was like, Aradna, like if she can do it, I can do it. If another brown girl like her that resembles me, I could do the same thing.
The background like close.
Right, I got the background, yeah.
But yeah, thank you so much. It was so amazing. Yes, meeting Ipo as well and meeting you. Like I met you both like at different times, but I feel like at a time where God knew like He's uniting women at a time where we all kind of need each other. Yeah. Because I've always stuck to only like two friends, one friend. I was just afraid to make new friends. You know, having that history of coming from a girl group, making more friends was just like, I'm scared. I'm scared. It's tricky out there, and there's not a lot of real girls who are like genuine and like real. Right. So for me, it's like when I meet a girl for the first second, I just know instantly by her aura, and the first 5 seconds I'm talking to her, if I like her or if she's real, you know what I mean? And that's hard to come across. So like I met you through your best.
Oh, I'm not gonna lie. The first time I met you, I was fangirling. I was fangirling off the rooftop, okay? Like, the first time I met Dinah, it was crazy because my best, shout out to my best, she's related to Dinah and
first cousin.
Yes. And so she was like, oh, I think Dinah's coming. I'm like, whatever. You know, like, you're not, I don't care. And I was like, okay, Dinah's here. Because, you know, like, I love, like, you are an inspiration. I'm older than you, but still, like, you being in the industry, man, you set so much inspirations for me as a Tongan girl. Just, like, be proud of who I am, honestly. And so every time I see you and I see you strutting your thing, doing that thing on the stage, because let's be real, I love when you dance on stage. You dance, okay? You hit them points, okay?
I'm sorry.
And so, like, whenever you do that, it tells me, like, oh, I need to do that too. I need to be fierce. I need to live my truth. Yeah. So I literally didn't believe my best friend when she was like, oh, Dinah might come through. And I'm just like, whatever. And then I turned the corner and and she's standing, my best friend is standing with Dinah, and I'm just like walking towards, and I look up and it's Dinah, and all I'm saying is like jaw drop, eyes all wide, and I was like, and then my best friend was like, this is Dinah, this is me. I cried.
She cried.
If you know me, I'm a crybaby. I cry about every big point in my life, every big person I meet, every inspiration. Like I told you, even though you're younger, you're still inspiring older women like me. And so I cried because I was like, I'm meeting a Tongan girl who is putting it down for our culture and setting a tone to the platforms and to society that Tongans and Polynesians do need a space for the spotlight. And so when I seen her, I was crying, and I was just like, emotions were everywhere. My best friend,
the first song she sang to me is Lottery. You might have won the lottery.
Okay, literally,
that was the first song she sang.
I was like, oh my goodness. And I started singing Lottery, and I was crying. I was hugging her, and I was just like, is this real? Like,
so
and
cute.
the one thing I love about you, Dinah, is that you never put your status over meeting people.
Yes.
You never pull the status like, I'm too famous to meet you.
Very humble.
It's very just much like, hi, I'm Dinah. And then, like you said, you decide from there how you feel. But man, that first time I was like crying. And then we hung out some more because she was like, oh, let's go somewhere. And I'm like, okay. Like, oh my gosh. And now I'm just like, I'm so protective over my girl. Like, please don't ever try it, okay? When I'm around. But yeah.
I mean, I think even going off to that point of like, I get that comment a lot where they're like, oh, I didn't realize how humble you were, or this and that. I think sometimes I forget also like who I am. And that was probably like my biggest struggle, because I mean, I've dated people who are not, like, people are like, why are you dating this person? Why y'all tapping each other?
That's for
no, but like, you know what I mean? But for me, like, dating someone, for me, I always dated for love. And like, to me, I'm like, okay, maybe they love me for me. And I love that they didn't see me as like this big thing in their eyes, like what the world was looking at me like. Not that I was that crazy big, but it was just humbling for me, like, to be with someone that could make me like feel down to earth, like sustain that. But then it also bit me in the ass because they started treating me too much like that, or like I would lose my worth and not understand, like, oh my gosh, you're that bitch, you know what I mean? So I would go places and people like, what are you doing here? Why are you here? Who's this? And I didn't understand. And I was like, no. I'm like, I like to cheer for the underdogs. I like to cheer for those type of guys. And like, not no more. But so what I'll say, cut, edits. What I'm gonna say is be humble, but not too humble where you lose your worth.
Right.
Never let a man like deteriorate you from who you are and where you come from and who you represent. I think there were times where I kind of like let my family down as well, and you know, we're in good terms now. But I ride hard for them, and I would hate also if it was the roles were reversed the other way. If like I saw my cousin dating or being with someone that wasn't treating her as like how we see her, you know what I mean? So I understand that, but like, date to a place where like, you know, like they value to the highest regard.
You know what you're saying, that you were forgetting who you are? Because whenever I would come across people and they would be like, oh, I know you're Dinah Jane's sister, and I'm just like, I just still like to this day I just look at it like, okay, like, and people are like, so how does it feel? And I'm like any other sister, like
right.
I felt kind of like I kind of put blame on myself because, you know, even though having this status, I didn't realize it was also affecting them. So like growing up, like having them with me and all that, everyone was like proud, like also they have a status to them too, but we didn't understand that. You know, we're still learning. My sisters are dating as well. So sometimes they're also thinking like, I think this guy's only dating me because he knows I'm your sister. Or this guy's only talking to me because of our family and all that stuff. So I would like sit with myself and feel bad. I'm like, I feel really bad that my sister has to now like find a way to date someone who really loves her for her and not just because of like what family we come from or who she's related to.
It was actually like hard to find people or like to, because one thing about me, I checked it once someone followed me. I was like, if you follow my sister, I was like, no, I'm not talking to you. Because I was just like, my mom always, she actually had this talk with us too. And she made sure like all of his kids know. She was like, you know, people like Dinah's up there now, and you have to be careful who's like your
the
real
company
friends.
you keep.
Yeah. And she was just like making sure like whoever you come across, always like if we tell them about her, my mom, she's always like, yeah, this person no, this person yes. She's like, maybe.
No, and when the mama knows,
Mama knows. Mama
Yep.
knows.
I
You
was
just
like
it's a
you
feeling.
said, I love someone who loves me for me.
Yes.
Find it by
Amen.
yourself. But yeah.
Do you want to shout out your LA guy? No, just kidding.
He has so many shout outs.
Oh wait, but it's Women's History Month. Never mind.
We have to pay her for these shout outs at this point.
Oh, shout out. About to start charging you. But yeah. We just went to the Maoli concert, and with that happening after the concert, so we're going to backstage, and while we're going, I was low-key getting scared because there were so many Polynesians, and they're like, Donna, can I take a picture? Can I take a picture? With that mob and everything, were you like scared or?
It was two things. I feel like it just depends like where you're visiting. Like some folks can be like, oh, I love her, but then deep down they're one of those folks that's talking shit.
There's a lot of good people, but I always, like me being her little sister, I always keep my head on, like with anyone, because there's a lot of haters.
Okay,
and I was
part.
like, oh, I'm looking, if someone try to jump you up, I'm right there. I was right next to it. But yeah.
Well, that's happened before. I was in New Zealand for like another time. I was with the girls for Fifth Harmony thing, and I was like, well, I'm gonna go with my peoples. We're gonna go to a party, this spot called Kong, and it was a club that all the polys go to. It was popping, it was jumping, and I came with like Stan Walker, and I was a fan of still Ashley Thonga. Like I was with all the poly folks. Like if we were in the scene, like we're cool, we have a good time. I think maybe this girl was too drunk, and like that's where I owe this incident. Like what kept me on guard all the time, because you just never know.
Yes.
And as I'm in the booth for the DJ area, like the girl kept calling me, and she was like, Dinah Jane, and I was like, yeah, hold on, because I'm in a deep conversation with Stan, and we're talking whatnot, and she keeps calling me, and I'm not responding. I was like, okay, hold on, but I'm still being nice. Like, okay, I could easily just ignore her, like now, cool, whatever. But like, still talking to Stan, all I feel was like my hair yanked like that, and mind you, I got extensions. I had my extensions. I was like, girl, well, you're not about to come forward my 20 inch, and I was like, oh shit, I think it unclipped.
I didn't even know about this.
Yes.
Whoa, what's her
It was
ass?
this girl.
Okay,
No,
for
you're
real.
good. So she yanked my hair. My head hella went gink, and I was like, I went back. I was like, why the fuck did you just touch me? Because like a part of me still had to I had to remember that I'm also still like of status, so I didn't want to act out of character.
Right.
But Stan saw
Not
me. He's
me,
like,
though.
oh hell no! Like he stopped it. There was a security guard, and then they just walked me back to my area. She was just mad that I wasn't like paying attention to her or responding to her. So that part scared me. I was like, I need to always be on guard. Like,
Yes.
good thing it was just that. She didn't give me no mark, nothing. But also I took it as if she was drunk. So I was like, okay, you know, maybe she was
that's why
drunk.
you need to hire me and Mila to be your security guard.
It's just
we
so
don't play that.
it's just so crazy because like there's instances like that where it makes you like now have to have that guard up. I just feel like if you are a fan, you wait your turn. Like why do people have to be so like, no, I'm entitled because I stream your music, so you just it's not like that. So oh my goodness.
I agree. No, and I don't know.
so
It's
many
just
stories.
so weird that fans would do that, and that's why I like fear for you, because again, with your status, I'm sure you've come across like obsessed or even crazy fans.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, girl.
What are you talking about?
Let me take my shit.
But yeah,
She looked at me. Yes, I was crazy and
I was
obsessed.
telling her, I was like, this is why I can't, after that little incident, well, not incident, after the concert and everything, I was like, oh, this is why I can't be famous. Cause I was like, I feel like you have to cater to so many people, and then me, like, I can only cater for so long. I'm like, I need to go home. And I need to.
Well, I feel like it's a different stroke different strokes for different folks. So like, because I've like already kind of like consumed this lifestyle, like when people like, I'm always down for the people, like I'm always down to show love, because you just never know when you're gonna come across them again, or like just to come across another young Polynesian girl, like, Dinah Jane, can I take a picture? To me, that to put a smile on someone else's face, that makes my night.
Yes.
So I was
I
like,
just don't know how you do it. I'm like, I'm tired. I'll see y'all later.
No, but as a woman though, so your status, I know that keeps you on your toes all the time. How do you kind of turn that off and recharge yourself? Like, what's your process?
That's a good question. I sometimes just like to I'll ghost. I'll just be chilling in my room, lock myself in my room.
And do.
Because I don't text nobody, I don't respond. Like, that's when I recharge, and just like, and I'll just like think about everything that had happened throughout the week, or the things I have coming forward. So I'm just like, okay, just consume this moment you have by yourself. And I've learned that about myself during this 3-year break, I'm like, okay, I have to be gentle with myself
Yes.
because you can only give so much, you know? So
Yes.
when people are like, are reaching for you, they're craving you and want to like hang out and do all these things, I have to also be careful of my mental health and my actual health, because I don't sleep enough. I'm a night owl. I don't like to sleep, and nighttime is when I really create the most. Then the day, I'm like, I like to sleep till like 10, 12 p.m. Like I'll really
Same.
rest, or I'll just go hang out with my girls. Like it really just depends. Like if I'm overworked or over emotional during the time, I'll recharge myself by kicking it with girlfriends. Like, hey, let's kick it. I'm flying down.
Yes.
Let's go have a good time. Things like that. So that's how I kind of recharge, type of thing. So
Love that.
thanks.
What about you guys as influencers and content creators?
Amen.
How do you guys recharge yourselves?
Like I said, I already told you. I told her, I was like, I can't do too much of that life.
It's a passion. You have to just love, as much as you love the music, you have to love everything that comes with it. If you want your music to really like get to the point.
It's so hard.
Yeah, it's a job. It really is a job. Like it really consumes your emotional state, your physical state, like everything. It literally affects everything. So you have to take all the good and the bad.
The pressure too. Like we were talking about this in our previous episode. She's the oldest of all of us, so I feel like, did that have an effect on you, or pressure as well? Like once you started doing music.
Being the oldest, yes, because what we were doing in the group at the time was very like body, very like seductive, and so at the same time also being Mormon and having like these many like grandchildren or first cousins that look up to me that I'm going back home to. It was kind of like hard. Like I was living two different worlds, so I was like, man, I portray myself to, obviously for the look of the group, like a lot of body, very seductive, all these type of things. That coming back home, it was like a, dang, am I like double playing my life? Like
Hannah Montana.
Hannah Montana. I always compare it to Hannah Montana. Like at home, I'm super tongue-in, home, church, family, everything. Then going out to the world, it's very like grown girl.
Right.
And it was kind of hard to like balance the two, because it played with my head. Like, who am I? Like, who do I play? Who's my audience? Like, or who am I in general? Like, what do I want? How do I see myself? Type of thing. And so I think that 3-year break was not only just for me, I think it was for my family to also accept that like this is my life and like I'm this woman now. Like it was just me wanting them to accept that so that I can accept it as well.
Right.
Yeah. Sorry. What was your question? Sorry. Wait, the other answer. I was waiting for her answer.
No, and
being an influencer.
Too. So like, as an influencer, content creator, like I know it gets overwhelming, right? So how do you kind of reset yourself?
I think like Dinah said, I think once you find a passion in something, you find that is your decompress, because I work a 9 to 5, and then on top of that I have other talents, managing.
Exactly.
Yeah, and so like my shout out to my brothers Bobby and Venu. They know when to give me space, and they like always write me like, are you okay? And I'm just like, dude, leave me alone. Like I'm just like, Dinah, like I need to like just take a step back for a minute. Yeah, but then I also find so much thrill in like going to my, I like to say I have a parking structure that I take all my pictures at, and I just go there and take pics. And I think that's part of my decompress too, is just like I find joy in styling myself and loving my body. That's my reset from my 9 to 5, from my managing, just from content creating in general. But I've learned to love content creating. Like it's something that I just love doing.
It's not something you can love instantly. It's just like, okay, here we go.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, I gotta post. I gotta put on for the girls. I gotta give an outfit inspo for everybody. So it's like, oh, I love that. So it's now that's my decompresses, taking pictures.
Man.
Yes.
I need to learn.
Yeah. And I also find joy in responding to people, because I think like I'm not saying I'm like status like you guys, but I never realized having a platform like this would now be something that's influential to people. It was inspiring to see a lot of the women that messaged our page letting us know that they watched every single bit of our show because they were so happy that we're speaking our truth for them.
Exactly.
There's a a lot of girls
Someone
out there,
needs to be the voice.
just like you saying, like you stepping into the music platform, you're opening up a space for Polynesian females, males, everyone that's Polynesian to get inspired into music, because there's artists getting discovered every freaking day. Like I'm like, oh, there's another poly artist, oh, there's another one.
There's so much talent out
Yes. And so I just feel like that responding to comments is another decompress for me, because it brings joy to me seeing that we can influence somebody and make them happy and make them smile. But
Amen.
And that's why we have the podcast.
Yes.
You know, so many people have hit us up, especially in the DMs. Y'all already know.
Yes.
Like, we try our best. It's only us 3 on there, so we're trying our best to, like, reply to everyone. But it just
You guys
keeps
are
flooding
killing
and
it.
flooding. But when we get those feedbacks, like, oh my gosh,
Yes.
like, I love that. When's the next episode? You know, it's motivating.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's pushing each other, like, pushing
Yes.
all of us to be
Yeah.
great and to continue to do what we do. Because I'm not going to lie, so I'm a mom, I'm a wife, and all of us.
She a soldier.
She became a content creator. I'm a pickleball star.
you are a content creator. Let's be for real,
You be
sis.
selling it to us.
Let's be
I
for
saw-
real.
no, I saw the last time we recorded, you had like 7K on Instagram. I just checked. I was like, oh, you about to hit 10K.
She about to hit a
Oh,
10.
You
like
better
I
be
said,
for
but
real,
that's because
sis.
They all, you know, like, they fuck with us heavy. So that's why
Yes.
I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for, like, everyone that's watching.
Amen.
But the reason why I brought that up is because I burn out fast.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. As a mom, you know, I try to juggle all these things, and then now adding a
Yeah.
podcast to it, I do not regret this one bit. At first, I was a little hesitant, and I'm not
Okay.
gonna lie, because your girl was like, "Oh my gosh, can I take on something else? My
Yeah.
plate's already full."
Yeah.
But I was like, you know what? If this window is opening up for me to take this opportunity, why not?
Why
Why
not?
I
not?
don't like
Why
it. All I gotta do
not?
is like, hey, I don't like it.
Yeah. You
But
can't knock
I'm
it till you
so
try it.
grateful. I know. I'm so grateful I did. And just being around you guys, like, it really does motivate and influence me a lot. Like, you know, as the oldest one, I guess.
Okay.
I still learn from each and every one of y'all.
I feel like it's kind of like, I feel like you guys are also in a growth group yourself. Like you guys have when I watched you guys' first podcast, I could just feel like there was a lot of relatability in each of you. Like, you're married, you don't have a family yet. You're married, you have a family, then you're single. And I was like, there's so much I could take away from each and every one of your personal experiences. Also being like from like different parts of your lives. Like, you're the only daughter in your family. Then you're number 2, the oldest. And I was like, there's so much like gems from your guys' podcast of what you guys represent and how you carry yourselves, that like being authentic is like, and real at the same time is what is your guys' like strength.
Yeah.
And that's why I love our podcast, because there's no script written. This
Nothing.
is natural. Like, the vibe just vibes naturally. And I love that.
Yes.
It just flows.
And I feel like too, it's like a type of thing where you just kick it with your girls, like at a spot, and
Yes.
just pull up, and like, hey, let's go eat Denny's. Like, it feels like that one night we were talking. Yes,
Oh my gosh, I think these. Remember we planned
So
our girls
5
trip?
yes, to Fiji.
Yes.
Yeah, we're coming to Fiji
Hello?
this
Oh
year.
Fiji,
Girls
y'all better
trip.
be on the lookout.
But yeah, that's what it feels like. It's so organic and it just feels real, and I feel like that's what people want to see.
Yes.
And they want to feel like it's not even plastic, nothing. Like, it's real talk.
Let's be
For
fucking
real,
real.
okay?
No, for real.
Let's also like chime into that too, because I think for all of us, like we all mentioned, we are influencers in our own way. We talked about support. I think off the camera, but I want to talk about it on camera. Like, how do you guys feel about? I mean, like, we can talk about it as the support with our podcast, of course, is amazing, but like our own personal support. Like, how has support with the crowd, our families, like how's
How are
support
they
been?
responding?
Yes.
I want to hear from you, because you literally blowing up right now.
Yes.
Podcast to music.
Yeah.
Which I'm so proud of you too, because you're juggling all these
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
I remember last year you kept talking about it. You're like, I want a podcast. I was like, Mila, don't sound, for me, like, I was like, girl, don't sound real. Like, it's not gonna happen. I was one of those just because like she was already putting
She
her
knows
hand.
me too well. Yeah.
Mila loves to do things like she likes to put her hand in everything. She has so many dreams and so many ideas
Yes.
that for me, I was like, girl, this is a lot. Like, are you sure you're ready to handle like everything you want to put your hand in? She's like, yes, I want to do it. So like seeing you actually like commit to what you said you was gonna do, like, says a lot.
And she's the
So-
youngest, so I'm very proud of her.
Yeah.
And the middle child. Shout out to the middle child.
I don't know
Love
about
you
that
guys,
shout-out.
middle
I don't know
child.
about that
Wow. I think with what you said, because I always tell my sister, like, I procrastinate a lot, and I always just like type it like you know, late at night I was like, these are my dreams, and
It's always
She had a
nighttime.
board. Mila really had a board. Like 5 years ago, she had a board, like everything she's gonna do.
like,
Girl, we always walk past that board,
And you're like,
ain't
"What?"
nothing checked off. We're like, there she goes again, procrastinating.
No, so
But-
I'm not surprised, because like if you're at home, like, they all know me. Like, I don't really do any of this stuff. I'm usually like Dinah. She's like up there. I'm used to being like her little shadow, or little, like, just her little assistant. And then like doing this for myself, because there's people who be online who have shit to say, and I'm like, you know what? I have shit to say too. So I'm gonna just stay tuned to my podcast. Because like I think like social media beef too, like that plays a big role. I used to be so quick to like respond, and I was just like, why can't I just make money off of this? And just like, I just want to express myself fully and for people to get to know me who I am, like on a platform like this. And I'm happy that I got to be here with these beautiful women. This also happened, it started last month. Me and Lose, we recorded like really last minute.
Yeah.
And then I didn't really like it because I was like overthinking. And then the second time we did it fully, Ipo came along. And then it's just like everything came in.
Yeah.
It's really in God's timing. So I'm blessed that Heavenly Father made this all happen today.
Okay.
Amen.
Okay, shout out to him.
Yes. But go into support. How has support been for you?
I think it's been actually. I think she, like I said, my sister. I think she paved the way for me, because now since she's like done a lot of things. I think if I was in her situation and I did that by myself and she didn't pave the way for me, it would have been harder, or no one would have that much support. But I think since she like did a lot of things, I'm like, oh, I could do things myself too, you know. And my family, they're really supportive of it. My mom, I always send her the episode before we film anything, because I like to get her critique.
Right. Yes.
And my dad loves it. He already made a fan base name for us, but it's still pending. He said we want to be called the BFREALers. So
BFREALers?
Yeah.
No. I don't know about that, Dad.
Why would you? No. Let's go back to the drawing board.
Also, my little sisters, my big sister, and then all my little cousins, they literally watched us on YouTube, and they all sat in the room and they watched the whole hour.
Yeah, they loved it.
It's been nothing but support. So I just love the love that is coming with all of this.
I think too, sorry to jump in, Mila, like how she said earlier, she's like been my shadow. Mila like would volunteer herself to do things for me. Like she's like, she's so talented behind the camera. Like because I was looking real good on Instagram because of her. Like she's like,
y'all look at her pictures. I filmed all of that.
I just want to give her credit. Like
as
she
should.
She loves being behind the camera. She likes to be the fly on the wall, and she'll just like capture everything with her talented eyes. And like she was so invested on like doing things for me that now for me to see her do things for herself is like such a journey. Like I love being her fan myself. So it's like, my sister's really like putting it down for herself, like because she's so used to doing things for me. Like I said, she'll volunteer. And now for me to sit back and just see her like flourish in doing things that she wants is like such a treat. So I'm proud of you.
Okay.
Good job, sister.
She's committed. That we're getting along today.
I know. I love it too. I'm so happy. Oh my God. Because we know. We know. If you know, you know.
Wait, should we share something?
Nor.
Right, thank you, Los.
Let's keep it positive. We'll talk about it next week.
Women.
We'll do that next episode.
Sometimes women fight too, okay? But
And it's okay. It's okay too.
If you're your sisters, things happen. Like,
Yes.
Talahui over here. My biggest headache, as much as I like we're like this all the time, we could really be like this and like be like
but that's
in a second.
That's real sisterhood. Like if you was not beefing with your sister 1 minute and besties the next, it's not real.
Yeah.
We took like 4 months break, and then it was when she begged me. Yeah. She wrote me and she was like,
cut. We just said we're not doing this.
No, there's a positive. There's a positive.
Why you have to
I feel like
that
sometimes
you said beg, bitch.
I feel like also like when you're with your sisters a lot. My mom would always tell us this like growing up, because we have a lot of first girl cousins.
Yes.
So hanging out with them a lot, and you as a young girl, you want to hang out with them. You're having so much fun.
Right.
There comes drama as well, because there comes little fights where like, so and so, I didn't like how she talked to me that time, so it gets a little beefy.
Right.
So my mom was like, okay, here's the thing about girls. You can only hang out with each other so much. Like you had to miss each other.
Yes.
So because we were always with each other, we loved being with one another. There was also lots of clashing. So my mom's like, you guys need a space. You guys need a break. Like you guys are doing too many things together. You need to miss each other. Right. So it's healthy. It really is healthy.
It is.
That's funny.
It just shows love.
And then for me, like, what were we talking about? The support.
Support.
From my family. You know what's crazy? My number one supporter is really my husband. I know I'm hyping him up all the time, but
As you should. As you should.
Dinah, it's crazy because as soon as my numbers started going up and like he really took the time. He was against TikTok. He's like, oh, that's for kids.
Okay.
Like, you know, like.
But then seeing him also in your videos too,
Yeah.
I was like,
That's
oh, he's
so-
here to your
I love those.
He supports.
All my content,
Yes.
like when I'm filming stuff, he is the one that's always there helping me. So that's what pushes me. Like, you know what? Because I only need one person to believe in me. And if it's my husband.
And your babies.
Watch me go grab the world for you, boo.
Oh, this going a song for her.
Dear
was bars.
LA boy.
Stop because I have it right here in my notes.
Dear LA boy.
That is so touching.
Yeah.
I love
That is so
Thank you, guys. Okay, not too much sissy poos. Back to women.
I think for me, support has been such a beautiful thing to experience. I don't know. I quickly said it, but I'm such a emotional crybaby, like big time crybaby. I cry about any small or big ventures in my life. So, just getting the support, especially. I keep mentioning this. I'm so sorry. I'm such a body positivity girl.
Amen.
If you hang around me,
Don't be
then
sorry
you'll
about
know.
that.
Right.
Yeah. And so as a big girl, I didn't think that a big girl like me would ever get the type of support or love, especially like growing up in the places and standards that I grew up in. And so it's really been such an emotional roller coaster, like for me to balance. And I really do appreciate, shout out to my oldest brother, Devita Francis. He actually called me when I sent him like a little snippet of a reel I posted. And I was like, what do you think? Yeah. And he actually is my biggest like person that I turn to. Right. Like, you know, like how you turn to your older sister, I turn to my older brother. He's very the person that I try to make proud, aside from my parents. And so my brother looked and he's like, dang, he called me, him and my sister-in-law, and they're like, I'm so proud of you. And that's like the first time I've ever heard my brother say it to my face. Right. But he tells my sister-in-law, he tells my sister-in-law, and then him just telling me on the phone, like, I'm so proud of you. Losa, this is your niche. Like, podcast is your niche, and I think you should stay on that route. Yeah. And so shout out to my brother for believing in me. He was actually the one that commented, like, you guys just flow along like butter. Ooh. Like, yeah. So my brother, he was just like, your guys' vibes together is like bread and butter. And then the support from the podcast has been so amazing. And I really am thankful for everybody that followed our page, followed our personal pages, because I don't think you guys realize like the support is what we live on. I think that is our drive. That's who we do it for. Yeah. And so like, aside from our family, the people that's watching us behind the screens, that's what's important too. And yes, we may have some haters, but I accept you and you're more than welcome. You're loved in my house no matter what. But
I need to be more
because
I got something to say today.
Yeah. And so support has been something that's been support has been something that's been so like amazing to see. Like it's been just such a journey. I never came into this platform to be a content creator, body positivity influencer. But when I was around one of my girls, she's like, dude, every time I hang out with you, you make me want to like love on me more and show my body off. And I'm like, as you should. Why not? Right. And so I realized from that moment, like, oh, I can do this to a lot more women out there who needs that inspiration. And so I hope that when you look at my page or when you follow our podcast, you understand that my message is love your body and love on yourself always. Love to love others because love will be reciprocated back to you.
Amen.
So yeah, I was like, oh, that's so. Thank you. That's what I feel on support. I love support, bad or good. Right. But let's talk about bad support.
Well, before we go there, can I also give a shout out to Gwendolyn when I was in makeup?
I love her.
Makeup and hair out in Vegas.
Oh my god.
You love her too?
I
Yes.
do. I follow her.
Guess
Guess what?
Well, so I was sitting in glam. Sorry, Gwendolyn, I had to put you on the platform too, girl. But I was in Vegas for the NRL game. She's getting me ready, and Liv is sitting right there, my first cousin, and she was like, oh yeah, they got this podcast thing going on. And I was like, yeah, I stayed up last night watching it, but I didn't get to finish. So in the middle of us talking, Gwendolyn was like, hey, is that the podcast that, she's going, is that the podcast that everyone's been reposting? I was like, I got so proud. I was like, yeah, that's my girl. And I was like, yeah, that's them. She's like, everyone's been posting. I've been coming across it a lot. I can't wait to go home and watch it.
Oh my gosh,
So then that's
insane.
when Liv called Lose, and she's like trying to hint to her like, hey, Gwendolyn just said like hi, she loves you guys, da da da. And she was losing her shit on the phone. Like I was like, that's how I'd freak out about Beyonce, but I get it because Gwendolyn is like the girl,
I wanna get my
the
face
girl.
Me too.
Oh, so talented. So
love
thank
you.
you so much. Shout out to all the women in the industry,
Yes.
makeup, hair, styling, music, anything that you do. Like, thank you for going out there for us. And she told me like she's super Samoan, like she speaks fluent Samoan.
And I was shocked too, because like even though Dinah's getting her makeup and stuff, then like Dinah's like, that's my little sister, and she's like, wait, that's your
Yeah,
sister.
she
I was
was
like, oh my
shocked.
gosh, she knows me. I was like, oh my gosh.
It's the feet hitting the floor.
No, because usually
Because it's real. It's
Yeah.
real.
She's the big
Everyone
time.
saying like, oh, you're Dinah's little sister.
Right.
But then when she said she didn't even know, I was like, oh my gosh, that's an accomplishment.
Okay, you better bask in your moment, boo.
Gwendolyn has a bit. Okay, guys.
Tell the podcast. Tell everyone about Gwendolyn.
So Gwendolyn is like my biggest inspiration. I discovered her when I was beginning my self-love journey. Aside from getting bullied in school and stuff like that, I grew up in a sheltered home. And so my style was more of old lady because my mom would dress me, and because I really, and tomboy because I had all brothers. And so I wasn't into my femininity or my woman curves and everything like that. I always hid it because that's something that I just didn't know of. Right. And then I came across Gwendolyn in one of her makeup videos, and I was starting to go into my makeup journey. So she inspired me to do makeup and feel beautiful with makeup and without makeup. And then her style, if you guys see Gwendolyn's style, or I don't think she posts much on her page, but I've been following her since like 2015 2014.
Right. Yeah,
so I've been following her. Yeah, so and shout out to Gwendolyn. She's actually been putting it like the pioneer in makeup. And also style too. But Gwendolyn's style is kind of what inspires my style now. A lot actually is what has inspired me. So just seeing, like I said before, I was a girl who couldn't speak up for myself, or I was in a space of I can only wear old lady clothes because that's the only style I know. So me discovering Gwendolyn, because I had no sisters, unfortunately, she was kind of like the older sis. She didn't even know it, but she was kind of like the older sister that I needed to turn to on makeup tips or styling tips. And so thank you, Gwendolyn, for being that inspiration. And I cried. Yes, I'm a crybaby. I cried when I met her on the phone. I was just like, again, it was like the same kind of reaction. The way I met Dinah is the way I just was like, starstruck.
So cute.
Like, oh my gosh.
I mean, I love talking about this as well because it's like I feel like we can highlight women since we're talking about International Women's Day. I think it's important to highlight what Polynesian women in your life has influenced you. So for me, like I said earlier, it's always been Aradna. And also just seeing her glow lately has been something. I was like, wow. Rod's looking good, girl.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, wait,
I pray for that music.
When are you guys going to have a collab?
We do have a song together. It's in the works. It's not fully finished. I would love to like do so much more with her rather than just one song. An EP would be amazing. But we have this song that's unfinished and it's super beautiful. Thank you, Aradna, for even hopping on. But I can't wait for you guys to hear it.
Love from America.
Aradna, that was
We
a
love you,
nice
Margaret.
playlist for real.
Okay.
Dude,
way back,
for
way back.
real.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
To the mic, to the
You know
mic.
what's too goodbye.
I'm never gonna leave your
Here
side.
again.
I'm never, no baby, you're with me. I'm never.
Okay.
where can we get a girl band? I'm the dancer. I don't sing, but y'all see me over here live with them. That was beautiful. I like that.
I think what I love about her too is that she fuses both of her worlds together, like being coming from an Indian heritage and also Samoan heritage. I love that she infuses the two, and like you can hear it within her music, like the unique, authentic sound that she fuses into her own. So shout out to Ryan again. I just keep saying you because I just love you so much.
Yes.
If I meet you, I will definitely cry. I will.
Yes.
And well, also
Yes.
she like really, I don't know. I just
We're gonna
love the
definitely
little-
cry.
I'll roll on the floor.
I
for
love
you.
the little messages that we all share together, like through social media. So it's like it's healing for me as well to know that another woman that I look up to sees me. Like she'll just little like, hey, I hope you're good, or it's always love Dinah type of thing, and just cheering me on is something that obviously really keeps me going. So shout out to you. It's always about like giving love back to those in the community as well. So I hope in a way I could be that in any shape or form to any girl out there that aspires to be something. Like it's always love, like just share love, send love. This community is so small.
Yes.
So I'd love seeing any other woman win in this industry, whether it's what's it called, TikTok creator, influencer, like do what you gotta do, boo. And we're on this space together. It's a safe space, so cheering the next one on is what will help this community flourish.
And it's more beautiful that way when women support women.
Yeah.
Because when it gets catty, it gets ugly.
I guess, and it don't need to be. There's already so much drama out there. Like, I love how my sister loves like Baddies West and whatever, but for me, like, I can't consume that. It's too negative for me
No, I watch it, but I don't act upon. Okay.
anymore.
We did it on my birthday.
We need to share love. Just share more
we
love.
share love.
Yes.
But who's a woman that you have like, been inspired by?
Yes.
That's Polynesian or any type.
Me, it would be Veronica Pomete.
Okay.
Yes.
I actually, so it was my aunt back when they were doing a girl group. It was called Change of Love, kind of similar to My Body Utah, like promoting body positivity and all that. And yeah, that's when I first met Veronica. And then when she announced her Nike sportswear when she was on the magazines.
Mm-hmm.
And that blonde, girl, shout out to that blonde girl.
Okay, this is where we insert the photo.
Yes.
Wait, was it Sports Illustrated?
No, she did Nike and sports.
Oh.
She did also sports too. The swimwear. She was the first
She did quite a few
Polynesian.
things. But Veronica, yeah, just being able to see her start from the bottom and then work her way up, it's different. But I shout out to you, boo, because you did it.
Amen.
Yes. Still doing
Okay.
it. Yeah, definitely. She's a big inspiration for sure.
Yes.
And also she's living in her truth. Like that's one thing that I love that is we keep saying this word, it's authenticity. So I love that we're all just really authentic to who we are.
And that's why all our viewers be like, they're so tuned in, is because nothing's scripted.
Yeah.
You know, like we
That
can just
part.
be ourselves.
Yes.
Like Bobby.
Yes.
But okay, I do hate to do this to y'all. We are running a bit short on time, but I'm gonna leave it over to Mila and Lose because are you gonna announce our? Did we even come up with one before I'm coming on? Our fans' name. Were you guys gonna announce that and the sponsors?
Oh, we'll do the ending part for sure, the sponsors, but
Yeah,
our fan base name is what we're.
our fan base.
Did you?
Oh, have them comment.
Yeah, how about you
What
do
you
y'all
guys
job?
come
Just
up
kidding.
with one.
Yeah, you guys
Yes.
should
That'd be
comment
cute.
down below what you guys want our fan base to name.
And you guys can still brainstorm it.
Because we had a couple of names that people had in mind, but since time is running low, is there anything you guys want to say to our Polynesian women who are watching it, and also in honor of Women History Month? Like any messages you guys want to give them before we leave?
I'll just throw a quick one.
Go
Just
for
be.
it. Go, girl.
What works for me is, just be great. Continue to be great. You're gonna have your days where there are, we've seen it many times, haters, negative people, all of that. But continue to be you. I promise. You gonna stay winning, and they gonna stay hating. So just let's keep pushing each other to be great. And Dinah, so grateful for you to take the time out of your busy schedule to be here with us.
Thank
I
you,
really
guys.
appreciate it.
y'all.
Love you, Sissy Poo. All right.
I will say one more thing. I feel like before we close off, I think my message would be, it's okay to not always be strong. It's okay to like be vulnerable, and it's okay to just let loose and like really feel things. I'm a feeler. I love to cry, and that's something I really got to like tap into recently. So like as a woman, as a Polynesian woman, we're taught to always have like this aura or this strength to like stay on guard all the time. But it's okay like to break. It's okay to break, and it's okay to feel. That's all I wanted to say.
Okay, I love that.
Yes. Love yourself first. Choose yourself, and always remember that you got to be selfish sometimes.
Amen.
In a good way,
And pick
yeah.
yourself first, because your mental health matters too.
Period.
Okay. I love that. I love all of you. And I just want to end this off by saying thank you guys for supporting us and giving us messages, even in person, like talking to you guys. Sometimes I get, I don't know if it's not that I'm anti-social, I'm really introverted. I think online I could be more extroverted, but like speaking with other women with my same experiences, it really encourages me to keep sharing my stories and to keep going further. And for the Polynesian women, like I mentioned earlier, at first, like whatever you guys are doing, whatever you got going on, everyone's gonna hate you, throw shade, and when you do your big one, everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, that's my cousin. That's my cousin." Okay, always remember the real ones who stuck beside you. Always stay beside them, and family over everything, but not the ones who are fake.
No, wait.
Believe that for the next
God.
topic.
Oop, and I oop.
It's two for real over here.
But thank you guys for watching, and
And thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, thank you, sister, for
I
coming.
love you guys. Thank you so much for having me. Till next one.
Yeah. You need to end off with us. We're gonna do the intro thing.
How should we end it?
Thanks for watching
Oh, then-
the Be For Real podcast. Okay.
Ready? 1. Let's go, girls. 1, 2.
Okay, Shania Twain.
Okay, hold on. 1, 2, 3.
Thanks for watching the Be For Real podcast. Ow. Bye
That
now.
was fun.
Bye now.
Bye
That
now.
was very fun.
Woo, we did it.